Killing Floor 2 is a cooperative first-person shooter where you take on hordes of enemies in waves, purchasing better weapons, and fighting one of two final bosses. It's actually a very simple game in that regard, and that's only if you don't include the 12-player versus mode that is literally so dead that you can never find a match for it. The gameplay of Killing Floor 2 is a natural improvement from the original Killing Floor. The guns all feel and sound fine enough, the shooting mechanics are solid and on par with any AAA first-person shooter easily. The amount of perks in this game and the customization of them that allows for such a variety of gameplay experiences so that the repetitive horde game mode actually feels very far from being repetitive, assuming you don't stick to one class every round. This game is best played with friends, but is still intense and exhilarating if played with randoms as well. The graphics are a crazy upgrade from the original Killing Floor, except there's a lot of pop-in rendering that happens. Why are so many things popping in as I walk around when I have this game on max settings? The grass just pops in like crazy.
We're almost out of time.
All of
Make
the
your
flora
choices.
does. That is so weird. It's most noticeable in areas with flora, but can also be seen as details popping up in other environments, and as I call it, the notorious circle of rendering, which is essentially just that line that you can notice on the ground somewhere in your vision as you run around, that everything before it is at the highest crisp detail, but everything after it is a downgrade. The maps in Killing Floor 2 are where a sense of repetition really kicks in. It's not the easiest thing anymore to incorporate modded maps into your gameplay experience so you always feel like you're having some sort of variety. In the regular matchmaker that has been thrown into Killing Floor 2, you'll find yourself likely stuck with official maps lest you want to deal with crazy in-game loading times of assets, or bugs that just completely stop you from joining servers with modded maps to begin with. You can circumvent this by going to the server browser directly, but you still have to deal with the crazy download times unless you close the game, download the map separately first, by which point that server will probably have changed maps already. However, some of the maps are very cool. There's one map where a volcano explodes sometime during the match, and then all of the water in the creeks and crevices get replaced by lava after it rolls down the volcano, adding a dynamic element of challenge to your experience. Then there's one other map where you play in the fallout of a nuke, and you actually get to watch the mushroom cloud rising up in the background, affecting the lighting and visibility as it does. Killing Floor 2 does have some connection issues, unfortunately, mainly with finding a match. I regularly have to wait a while to find one. I don't know if that's just poor matchmaking or a dead player base, but it is an issue. Sometimes my friends will be kicked out of my party without warning. Sometimes the matchmaker literally just cannot find me a match. And when it does, even if you pick the option to only join a match that hasn't started yet, you'll find quite often that it hadn't started when the matchmaker found it, but while you were on what is all of a few seconds of a loading screen, the match started and now you're missing the first round of the game. Not only are you missing it, but you have to watch the whole thing, which makes it even more evident that you literally just missed this game by like 3 seconds. And that happens a lot. Staying in lobbies can be a bit difficult if you're not playing with all friends because you typically find some sort of pre-made group that is serving as the host of this clearly peer-to-peer system. And if they don't get the map voted in that they wanted, then they usually leave, which causes the whole match to just disband on the spot. Then you queue up for matchmaking again and find the same pre-made group but playing the map they wanted instead of the map that the rest of the full lobby voted in. The game is filled with a shitty community that does this on a regular basis, and since it is a peer-to-peer system, then there's really nothing you can do about it. In addition, the game likes to throw you into matches with hosts from anywhere in the world except from where you are. I'm commonly paired with Brazilian, Russian, and European hosts, and as a result, my gameplay experience is plagued by latency, lag, and stuttering, as will yours should you get this game. But even with all these issues, Killing Floor 2 is still one of the most solid shooters I've played in years. It pains me a little to give it a 7 out of 10, which places it quite simply as a good game. But it has been out for so long, and the issues I have mentioned have only gotten worse and become more prevalent over time, and honestly, most of these issues didn't even exist when I first got the game during its early access phase. Toss a worsening game state in with an unneeded microtransaction system that lives to exploit the community's desire for customization while allowing Tripwire to make a profit off of it. This game has actually gone down to this 7 out of 10 from the 9 out of 10 I would have given it in its early access phase. I do recommend it though, for the full $30 if you loved the original Killing Floor, but more realistically $20 on a Steam sale or from a licensed reseller, since this game is unfortunately not available on any other platforms. It's not a must-play, but definitely a should-play in my eyes. Definitely worth it if you have some friends, just beware of all the problems, the potential of a dead player base, but at least you should be able to find a few matches without any of these issues popping up. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked this video, please hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on my game reviews and other things happening here on Konglomerat. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys on the next one.